Tapan Doshi, research analyst of CA Tapan.in joins us. Hello and welcome, Mr. Doshi. I'll start off, you just
Hi.
heard about the management, about their commentary in terms of how the gold prices are, what the kind of demand outlook is. Just want to get your perspective on Sky Gold.
So Sky Gold overall, if you see the last quarter result was quite good, almost the double the profit year on year. And if I see the valuation part, I think it is quite undervalued only. No, the valuation quite low compared to its peers also. And now they are going to target almost 25% of revenue in future that export. And again, as the management told, they are going to scale the Dubai and overseas operations. Of course, the improvement in margin will come from design and the cost control, which they are going to work on it, and that is what they spoke about. So, because they have a low debt and manageable leverage, no, I think they will not face, I think, big issue there. Of course, the gold price is quite fluctuating, so it is going to impact their margins and all that. But I think they know from because they are in this business for long, so they will handle it. But yes, EBITDA margin was a hit last time, and I think they will work on this. And from here also, I feel though because the demand is there gold, and I can see even the gold demand is back, and retail investors are going and investing in gold also, and also in Dubai the demand is quite. I think this is a stock which is available at a fair valuation. If someone wants to enter, they can enter at this level.
Okay, so that's the view for Sky Gold, but let's talk about something in real estate. And Hemisphere Properties is stock in focus. In fact, it's locked in a 20% of lower circuit in trade. And this is on the back of a big update that we are looking at. Now, the company received no bids for its e-auction of its land parcel in Pune. Do note that the company is reviewing the outcome for the same as to what could be the due course and action going forward. Now, what had happened before the e-auction was that the company had issued a request for proposal. This is back in 2024 December that we are talking about for sale of this particular land parcel in Pune. This required, for this they had received approval from the Pune collector as well for the e-auction to be held, for which they had to make an upfront payment of around 130 crore or odd so. But the company said that this was a prerequisite for proceeding with the auction process, for which, if you look at today, they have received no bid so far. So it's a big overhang that we are seeing for this particular company. In fact, if you look at the overall land bank also, the company, this plots if we are looking at in Pune forms roughly about 524 acre of the overall holding, part of which we are looking at in this particularly e-auction. Overall, it has about a 700 plus of an acre land bank. So this is the particular update that we are seeing for Hemisphere Properties. Tapan, let me come to you on this particular counter. We are seeing significant, pressure in terms of what's happening with this company. It's not just the first time that the company has been in focus on the back of such updates. There were earlier litigation issues with their other land parcels as well. So just want to get your overall perspective on the same.
Yeah, see, the company is facing a lot of challenges. Even if you see the profitability also is negative from last few quarters. Again, their negative margins and problem is the operating scale is quite low, and that is what is the problem. The income base is low, and because the ROE is not there, that is what is not helping the company also. Of course, the debt is low and all that, but no, they need this. No, the today's setback was a big setback because they were counting on that, and of course, in future they are going to work on to turn around and all that. But I think it will take some time. It is not easy to again come back again. No, the revenue and the property monetization will going to take time. So I think at this level also, because of the fundamental what the company has been there from last few quarters and years, I think one should stay away from this company unless all these things are resolved, and again the profitability comes into picture.
Moving focus to one of the top gainers in trade, that is Tarachand Infra Logistics. Now that stock is up over 18% in trade, and this is after the company announced that one of its major capital expenditure has been completed. What's more detail on this? Let's get in Jasmeet.
Well, right, thank you for that. Let's quickly understand how has the stock been performing over last year and over 6 months. If we look at the 6 months performance of the stock, it's nearly up 38%, while over a year it's up 22 odd percentage. Now, while the company is majorly in logistics sector and they deal with the solutions across logistics sector, let's quickly understand segments of the company. Well, company has three main segments. First is equipmental rental, where they provide the equipments on rental basis and earn the revenue. There is a major sector of the company covering almost 50% of the revenue. The second one is warehousing and handling, while the last one is steel production and then distribution. Well, if you look at the key clientele of the company, they're among Aditya Birla, Reliance Industries, BEML, and KC International, and rest others. While in terms of financial performance of the company, the FY25 revenue stood at 248 odd crores, which saw a jump from 178 odd crores from FY24, while margins have been flat at 38%. We're talking about a key update on the capex. While that's the reason the stock is buzzing in trade today. If you look at the capex plan, the company has completed a purchase of 15 machineries, which will help them to grow and complete the current order book. While they also say that the equipment, the total cost spent for this would be 83 odd crores for FY25 and FY26. And in terms of these assets, they are also eager that they will support the renewable sector of the company, where they have estimated it to grow to 10%. Currently, it contributes only 6 odd percentage to the overall revenue. This is something to watch out for.
Thank you, Jasmeet, for that. Tapan, have you tracked this counter, Tarachand Infralogistics? Would you recommend your clients to buy at the current value?
See, the Tarachand, if you see the valuation and also the management committee, they are going to expand their service and scale their business. Of course, they are going to improve their utilization and working on their cost control. The thing is now, last time the EBITDA margin was struggling, but now I think they may recover from there. Operating leverage is visible, but the scale is literally low. No, they work on the low base, so that is a problem. But I think if you see the equipmental rental segment has gone up by 36%, which shows that okay, slowly and gradually things are coming together. They have to focus on cash collection and working capital because it's a small company. They have to work on it. But I think the management is quite positive, and from here also it looks like now the revenue may have a good jump. Looking at the valuations, and I compared with the other logistic company and all that, I think this is fairly valued. I think if someone is having hold the stock, I think you may get maybe around 15-20% upside from here also.
Okay, let's talk about Orient Tech now, and the stock has surged to 17%, in fact, in trade today. What we are looking at is higher trading volumes as well. Q1 also, if you are looking at the numbers, we've seen some healthy numbers there as well. But Jasmeet joins us to talk to us more about these company financials and the outlook ahead as well.
Well, right, yes, thank you for that. Let's quickly understand the trading volumes and the reason why the stock is buzzing in trade today. If you look at the current trading volumes, it's nearly up at 17%, which is nearly hitting an 8-month high for the stock. And the stock is trading at a 40 times volume compared to 20-day average, and the stock is also higher for the 6th consecutive day. Now, it's interesting to watch out how the company has performed on QOQ and YY basis. If we look at the QOQ in terms of revenue, they see a downtick of 18%, but on YY basis, it's nearly up. While if you look at the net profit, even that sees a downtick of 23 odd percentage, and on YY basis it's down 11%. As the company operates in hardcore IT tech services and providing services across AI and other chains, it's interesting to look at the outlook for the company going forward. What the company says is they aspire to be in top 5 when it comes to integrated services going forward, while they also want to focus on recurring revenue than the one-time revenue, and also a revenue that can have monthly and annual impact going forward. While the total order book of the company stands at 400 odd crores, which is to be executed in this particular year. So that's something to watch out how this thing pans out for the Q2 and Q3 going forward. If we look at the Q1 order intake, it stands at 100 odd crores. While this is basically the deals coming through and helping the Q2 support the revenue going forward.
Okay, thank you for that, Jasmeet. Let me come to you, Tapan, on this particular counter, Orient Tech. It's been a stock in focus since the last few trading sessions. What's your view?
See, Orient Techno is working on the IT infrastructure and IT-enabled services. Of course, AI also one part of it. So that is what market is excited about. Otherwise, how the IT stocks has been behaving. Now, overall, if you see there, they have improved with receivables and working capital, and their order book and also project wins are good. And they are going to diversify their clients and verticals. If you see ROE, ROC, it's around 20-25. That's good overall. The margins are okay. The only thing which I have to see the next few quarters also how their results is shaping up, because the AI is coming in, how they are able to adapt with the current situation. Of course, they are working on the cloud and infra verticals, which is scalable from here. So all these things are good, and looking at the valuation also, things Orient Technology at this level looks okay for me. You can hold it, but my suggestion to all the investors, do check the quarterly result, because if there is a dip, then one has to think about this stock.
Next stock in focus is Manaxia Coated. Now, this is a 1,500 crore market capitalization company, which at one point of time in trade today was up nearly 15%. And in the last 6 months, the stock have gained around 70 odd %. Let's get in. Vansh with more details on what could be the reason behind this rally in this counter.
Yes, thank you for that. So let me start off with the business of the company. Now the company manufactures value-added metal products like pre-painted metal coils, metal sheets and galvanized steels as well. If we talk about the Q1 FY26 revenue split, 73% of the revenue comes from the galvanized steel sheets segment as well. If I talk about the export mix, 56% of the revenue comes from export for Q1 FY26 as well. Also, if you look at the Q1 FY26 performance, what really stood out was the net profit, which was at 14 crores versus the 5 crore. In fact, we witnessed the highest everly revenue, EBITDA, net profit for Q1 FY26. Now, what largely remains interesting is the outlook. Now, the company is targeting 11% EBITDA margins for FY26 versus a 7% margin in FY25. They are targeting an annual revenue of about 1500 odd crores versus 780 odd crores in FY25. Also, they expect the export revenue to account for more than 50% of the company's revenue as well. So this is how the overall picture is panning out for Manakshia as well.
Tapan, quickly your view on this counter Manakshia quoted.
See, the metal companies are doing well, and if you see this company also, no margin is actually improving. They upgraded in galvanization coating capacity, and no, their domestic revenue is gone up by almost 43%. No, so that is very good. And no, currently few quarters, I feel that metal companies may do well. Of course, the input and raw material cost volatility is affecting the margins overall, but because they have a strong order book of almost 337 crores and domestic of 113 crores, I think things are in well placed. And because the metal sector look good from here, I think one can hold this stock. I think upside is there for this company.
Okay, hold is the view for this particular counter. But thank you so much, Tapan, for joining and sharing perspective on various of these stocks that we've discussed.